Hi, it's Suzanna from Her Money, Her Purpose. And in the time that I've done this work, about 4.5 years of helping women with their money and their purpose and earning money from their soul work, I have had so many women tell me that what they really want is freedom. Freedom with their money. Now, if that is one of the things that you want, I would say stick around because this video should speak to you. Hi again. So the idea of having freedom with money, this whole idea is so expansive. It's huge. It's maybe one of the most expansive ideas. And what I want to do in this video is take that massive, big idea of freedom and ground it. I want to ground it into the here and now. I want to ground it into reality, and I want to ground it into numbers. I want to help you do that by introducing a concept which I want to call your daily freedom number. Okay? And so what your daily freedom number is it's a way of quantifying what your freedom costs per day on a day-to-day basis based around the number of productive days that you're choosing to work in a year. I'm going to go into it in a little bit more detail in a moment, but before I do, I want to tell you how this can be useful, this concept, because I am talking about math. Do not run for cover. It's pretty simple math, but I want to explain why it would be useful before I explain the actual calculation itself. Now, this can be an incredibly useful concept if you are looking to transition. So you may be working in one job and want to move into another career. You may be working in one job and want to move into self-employment, or you may even just be in self-employment already, even full-time, but you're not really sure. Like every time people ask about goals, it all feels a bit, $1,000 a week, $10,000 months, 6 figures. Like it all feels a bit, I don't know, what should my goal be? What is my goal? This is bringing it back to reality in a really grounded way. So where I want to start is I want to start with the formula, and then I'm going to go ahead and break it down. And it's really just a two-part formula. What it is it's dividing what I call your annual freedom spending divided by your freedom earning days. So if you divide your annual freedom spending by your freedom earning days, the result will be your daily freedom number. Okay, so let's work out what is your annual freedom spending. Now this figure, it's like, what do you need to spend money on in a year so that you can feel free? And I want to invite you to be really honest with yourself about what you really need in a year to feel free. Okay? It may be really simple for you. You may feel quite free if you just have your basic needs met and a little bit extra. Or it may be, you know what, I need to be able to go, like for me, I live in Melbourne. I may need to go back to Canada every year to feel freedom. I may need to go spend a month there. Or I may need to take my family on vacation if I had a family. That sort of thing. Think about what you need to feel free, and think about what you need to provide if you have any dependents, including pets, or even just people in your life who you want to be able to give to. How much does all of that cost on an annual basis? So you're going to go ahead and write that down. And when you've worked that out, I want to invite you to compare that to either your budget, if you have one, or if you don't have a budget, maybe just if you have a dollar figure or an idea of how much you're spending at the moment. I want you to contrast and compare them, because that's a huge opportunity to discover for yourself where in total or where in the individual breakdown you're actually spending in alignment with your freedom and where you're spending out of alignment with your freedom. That would be a huge benefit to be aware of that. So that's going to be your annual freedom spending, okay? And the next part of the piece is your freedom earning days. And now your freedom earning days are the number of days per year that you're choosing to work. Okay, so for me, I would need about 4 to 6 weeks, so we'll go with 6 of no work in a year. And then if I'm completely honest, I am really happy with about 4 days a week of work. So for me, we've got 4 days per week times, if I'm going to take 6 weeks holiday after 52 weeks of the year minus the 6 weeks holiday, right, leaves 46 weeks. So I will have 46 weeks times 4 days per week. And that will be my freedom earning days. And I'm sorry I haven't done the math in advance to give that sheet, but just to give you an example of how that's worked out. Okay, so now what you want to do is you want to go ahead and divide your annual freedom spending by your freedom earning days. And now what you have is you have a very solid daily freedom number. Big whoop. But what does it mean? It means if you're in business for yourself already, that's your goal income. That is the amount of money you should be aiming to earn each day to finance your freedom. If you are transitioning from career to another career and you need to go back to school, or you want to transition into your own business, every time you save that number, for example, if your daily freedom number works out to be $200, every time you save $200, you just bought yourself a day. And you can use that day for study or for transitioning, doing the startup phase of business where you're doing a lot of work and maybe not earning as much money yet. You've bought yourself a day. How powerful is that? So I want to invite you to feel into what's your annual spending and crunch the numbers and be realistic with yourself. Where are you lowballing? Where maybe you'd be going like, you don't really need a private jet to feel free, or do you? That's up to you. And work out your daily freedom number. These concepts are new. I put new terms on them. That's why I keep looking down to make sure I'm being consistent with that. And I also I want to say one last thing about this, because what happens if you calculate your daily freedom number and your actual income is not quite even matching it? And that's where you might want to go back to your annual freedom spending and prioritize. What are the things that make me feel the most free? Obviously, you can't prioritize around your basic necessities. You're going to have to pay them anyways. But the things that aren't necessities, how do you prioritize that so that you're getting the most freedom for every dollar you spend? So I hope that concept was useful. If you have any questions at all about it, you can email me, Suzanna, at hermoneyherpurpose.com, or you can leave them below. And I would love to make more videos to explore this concept. So if you have questions, do let me know, and I can go into more detail and explain more about this very powerful concept of your daily freedom number. So until next time, many joyfully expansive, like freedom expansive blessings. Mwah.